Hello, welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations and breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in for a tarot throw today, so let's go to the tarot cam. Let's go to the tarot cam. Oh, yeah, this is the tarot cam. Okay, hang on. All right, so I'm showing you some cards. They should look familiar if you saw the last live show I did. I threw some baseball cards. I was going to some baseball games down in San Diego to watch the Padres take on the St. Louis Cardinals. And I thought it might be interesting to hear what the cards had to say about the series before I went down for the series. Hang on, let's make sure I got the camera everywhere I want it here. All right. Want to make sure that card's in view. All right, so I had the first game, St. Louis versus San Diego, and then the second game, and then the third game. And I realized after all the games were played that the cards did a better job of calling some of these games than I interpreted when I first did the live stream with these cards. For example, in the first game, which was Friday night, the St. Louis Cardinals got these two cards, the Eight of Wands, where you see these sticks or bats flying through the air. The Eight of Wands represents speed. And we also got the Magician card. And for the St. Louis Cardinals that night, they had a little bit of fast magic with a home run, but the Padres came back with an unexpected, unusual play, and it showed some teamwork. Anyway, that reading was pretty good, but this one was especially on point with the fast magic and the quick home run. All right, so well done, tarot deck. Let's move on. So Saturday, we got these cards, and I pointed out the Page of Swords here. Looked like he was actually holding a baseball bat, and they got the Tower card. And it was true that on Saturday, they got some big bats down at the bottom of their order in the 7, 8, and 9 spots. And this is what powered them to victory. So the Cardinals actually took that game on Saturday. Meanwhile, I want to say that the guy that was pitching, I think his name is McGreevy. I think that was the game that he pitched. That guy did an outstanding job. Really enjoyed watching Cardinal pitcher. I know I'm speaking a lot about the Cardinals here, but I'm a California guy, and we haven't really talked about the Padres. Anyway, on to the Cardinals again in Game 3. I misread it. I thought that there was going to be a great debut of a pitcher, and you could see that even in the 7 of Wands here. If you take the wand out of his hands, it kind of looks like he's in the motion of throwing a pitch. So I thought that this meant a debut or something remarkable. We're going to learn about a Cardinal pitcher, but in fact, the tarot deck was being even more literal. You know, sometimes in baseball, we call the pitcher the ace. And so the ace was on the hill for the Cardinals, and you can see that he was embattled. And you can see, again, this guy looks like a pitcher, but you can also see there's a lot of bats there that he has to deal with. And he was facing a real challenge while he was on the hill. So that was the part that really amused me. You know, this last game that was on Saturday in San Diego, we got so lucky. We showed up in time just before the game started. You know, San Diego's a big military city, and they have the Navy and the big battleships. You can actually see them from the stadium when you're sitting in the stands. So what was great was on that particular Sunday afternoon, it was a day game, they honored the military, and up on the Jumbotron, they had like all kinds of veterans from previous action, including people that were in their 100s and people who were World War II veteran participants. It's amazing. And it was I'm pointing to this card because it was such a memorable day for everyone in San Diego, no matter who you were rooting for, because you had all the veterans there, all there were soldiers up in the stands that were in uniform. It was they all sat pretty much at attention, and you had the centenarians on the jumbotron, and then not only that, you had at the beginning of the game these parachute guys come in, and they landed right on the baseball field before the game started. And then during the national anthem, of course, as you can imagine, they had the jets flying overhead. They had 4 of them. You know what was great about those 4 jets? You know, those 4 jets flew over the stadium during the national anthem, and then later on in the game, they brought those pilots to the stadium to be recognized, and they were on the jumbotron too. So quite a memorable day in San Diego, and the Padres did win because they got a lot of bats. They did a lot of work, scored a lot of runs on that poor embattled pitcher, as I was saying. So there you are. I think that covers all the things I wanted to say about the cards, but the cards were pretty correct. All right. So I'm going to clean up these cards and then move on to some fresh stuff. But that was fun. All right, so I'm about to get shuffling here, and I wanted to say that in the description, I put a few links. We might as well go back up here. Yeah, because the studio looks good too. All right, so let me grab this window real quick. All right. What I wanted to say is that in the description today, I put 3 links. The first one is a podcast, and there are so many out there, but it has to do with workplace ethics. And the title of it is The 5 Stages of a Workplace Mobbing with Henrik Bergdahl. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Bergdahl is, I'm not sure if he's Swedish or Norwegian. It's one of those 2 countries. And he does a very great job of explaining clearly for a common person to understand what happens in a workplace mobbing and what it is and what to do. You know, and his basic idea is, you know, once you recognize it, you need to cut your losses and get away from it as fast as possible. But it was such a great video, I thought I'd share it with everyone. And the next video I'm sharing, well, you know, I like talking about the breakaway civilizations, and no one does that quite like John Whitberg. Mr. Whitberg is a secret space program experiencer. He's an author. You can find his books if you search the title, The Man with the Periwinkle Eyes. But I have included an interview he's doing, or a video production he did, called the Stargate Special, and it is special. He tells all about Stargates, the history of Stargates, the history around Stargates. And anyway, it all sounds like it makes sense to me. So enjoy that John Whitberg video. You have to stay up to speed, and he's giving us information. Anyway, let's move on to the last one. Oh yeah, the Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scoville Shinn, and it's a video that encourages you to reprogram your mind and tells you how to do it, so that we can all enjoy, you know, a fuller life, you know, with the remaining time that we have left. Let's make each day count. So thanks for letting me share those things. And next, I want to do a tarot throw. You know, I'm not into astrology as much as I'd like to be. I feel like I know some astronomy. Nevertheless, I think that the tarot cards could share with us an energy for all the people who are viewing and for all the subscribers. You know, we all seem to share something in common. So maybe the tarot cards want to share with us things we might, you know, keep an eye out for, and ways to sidestep or move forward during this particular astronomical time, you know, where the planets and stars are in our skies right now. Again, not stuff I know how to do or read, but the tarot cards can sum it up for us. So let's go to the tarot cam. One moment, please. Yeah, just checking. go. So, hang on a second. Yeah, that's right. So for the viewers and subscribers tuning into this at any time, is there a general message about the astrological lineup of things? Maybe there's an energy we can watch out for. Maybe there's an energy we can capitalize on. Please show us what we need to know about the astrological energies. Anything we should keep an eye out for. Care to guide us on how to capitalize on it. Please show us what we need to know. Please tell us what we need to hear. For any of our viewers and all of our subscribers, please show us what we need to know. Please tell us what we need to hear. Thank you. Okay, let's see what's going on. Well, here we go. We're having fun. It's the Hanged Man. Let's have a different perspective. Well, that is true. Oh, sweet. And the Lover's card. So it tells me that the spirit world is in the house. You know, we're asking for a new perspective, a summary on astrological energies, and the spirit world is here to give it to us. The Ten of Swords. Well, you know, I know you heard me laugh at the Ten of Swords. Well, it's not because the guy's in pain. That's not what I'm laughing about. Okay, well, the Nine of Wands. Yay. The Nine of Pentacles. And, all right, Temperance. So just to quickly make a statement with all those pictures combined, you know, the hard times are over. You gained wisdom and you learned from it. Now it's time for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor and maintain balance. I think that's a message of maturity. You know, as we age and we experience things, you know, the good things that we've done, we've worked hard for, and now we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. And if we maintain balance, we can enjoy. There's less. Oh, yay! We got some friends saying hi. Hello, Julia, Anchor Haven. Yes. We'll get to your reading. Thank you very much for requesting one. I kind of had a feeling you might show up. So anyway, I was just saying, temperance is a good position to be in if you want to have a balanced life. Be a balanced person. And let's find out if we got any closing messages here. Yeah, you're welcome. Can't wait. Yay. Here we go. Ace of Wands. The Seven of Cups. I like to call the Seven of Cups, the world is your oyster card. And all right, the Two of Swords. So concluding with the Tarot's possible summary of astrological energies, the message might be, you know, make your own magic. Every day is a new day. It's filled with opportunities. And if depending on where you are in life, you might want to look at things as if you're at a crossroads. If energies weren't going your way, go where it flows with the most ease and the most grace. That's probably the path that you want to take. Well, that was fun. I want to say thanks to the tarot cards for sending us that great summary, that great message. All right. Got it. I'm checking my notes, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go right for Julia's request. We'll get a reading for her. And obviously, Julia, you can put in the chat if you have a specific subject you want me to address. But otherwise, I'll go with a plain old reading, a general reading. It's pretty thrilling to have you here. Yes, okay. General, my pleasure. I see that you've been adding to your great video library with lots of interesting guests. You're working very hard out there. Way to go. Must be an interesting day every time you get on camera, Julia, because all those people are so interesting. They have such interesting things to say. All right. Let's see here. Please show us what Julia needs to see. Please tell us what Julia needs to hear. Thank you. Sure. I want to say it's kind of brave of people to request tarot readings on the internet where the whole world can see it. Everyone knows everyone's business. Ooh, okay, this guy wanted to come out. All right. So let's throw one. This is like your comfort dessert. This is the, I'm going to declare this one like the hot chocolate with the marshmallow in it. I hope I'm right about that. I'm trying to offer you a little help with your healing. Okay, so here comes some messages for Julia. Well, the Eight of Wands indicates flight, travel, or speed. So maybe something's coming our way fast. Let's see. It's getting dramatic. Here you have the Moon card, which represents the subconscious. And the Seven of Pentacles. It sounds like they're stating your position again. There's healing involved, probably with the subconscious, and you have a long way to go. It says here a long-term view. Let me get my magnifying glass here. Okay, so I'll read the Moon card. Illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, the subconscious, and premonitions. It sounds like a lot of things that you participated in. And then the Seven of Pentacles reads long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, and investment. I don't know. It sounds like what you're doing with your podcast. You're taking what's transpiring, including your own healing, and you're working really hard on it with a long-term view. I mean, there's a lot of work to do, no matter who you are. Anyway, let's go to the second sentence here. Yeah, it's this guy again. He just showed up before the Nine of Wands. He's the third base coach in baseball. He's the experienced person. He's been a little beat up, but now he knows, not to waste his energy on things that don't affect things. Just, exercise your energies when it's necessary, perhaps. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I love this one. The Queen of Swords, for me, always says you were right. Okay, so you're wise and you were right all along in the first place. Okay. The Four of Swords says relaxation. I will go through and read those cards in a moment. And then, all right. there is the Knight of Cups. He's the knight in shining armor. Okay, you're the experienced person. You've got a few wounds, but now you're so experienced. You're going to be smarter than most people on the street where you live. But guess what? You were right the whole time, and you can relax because you are your own knight in shining armor. This is a knight in shining armor card. So on my first look, that's what it looks like. But let's see what the last sentence says, and I'll go back and read those cards. Okay, next up. Oh, okay. The Five of Wands. Well, I said this about my own channel here at STARCARD Podcast. If I'm doing my job right, yeah, there's going to be conflict. You're presenting ideas that the mainstream kind of doesn't want us to say anything about. So anyway, if this is about your podcast, work your magic. And this card for me, I have a special sentence for this. Oh yeah, as much as you can imagine it to be, as much as you can imagine. So your podcast, you're going to work your magic as much as you can imagine working it, and how the laws of manifestation work, the things that you imagine, they eventually come true, right? So let's go back and read the cards before we have dessert here. And I'm going to be surprised if this doesn't come out to be another very pleasant card, because it looks like the spirit world is helping me here. So let's get the magnifying glass. The Nine of Wands: courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience, boundaries, last stand, gearing up for the worst, pessimism, weary. Those may or may not resonate. But then here's the Queen of Swords: unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear-minded, perceptive. As I say, Queen of Swords says you were right. And the Four of Swords said, well, if I look at these two cards, you were right, relax, you were right, doesn't matter what other people think. Four of Swords: relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal, and solitude. And then the Knight of Cups. And notice the Knight of Cups, he's marching forward. All those things happen. And the show's not over till it's over. He's marching forward. It says here, creativity, romantic, charm, imagination, beauty, knight in shining armor, following the heart, Prince Charming, proposals. Makes me think, you don't want to forget about the things that you love. I hope all of us remember to do something we love every day. So here, let's go to the Five of Wands. Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreements, strife, tension. Isn't that what happens on, what is that one? Twitter? Now known as X? Okay. I'm only on YouTube and Rumble, and I realize I'm not even linked up and doing much on Rumble, but anyway, having fun over here on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. The Magician card says action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill. You've got a lot of that, and creativity. All right. And then the Eight of Swords, this guy, as much as you can imagine, it says here, negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality, and entrapment. You're taking the challenges that you've had in the past and you're turning them into something good on your podcast. So even though you might face some more, if that's what this card indicates, you're just going to work your magic and, you were right and turn it into something good. Sounds like quite an adventure. Okay, ready for dessert? Let's check it out. You're so dramatic. How about the Tower card, where the whole world comes crashing down? I think I drew this card for you last time. The Tower card. Yeah, didn't I draw this one for you on your show? Anyway, let's check it out. This is the last word here. Sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. You know, maybe any, some, or all of those words apply. Wow, Julia. Yep, I'm a walking tower, says Julia. Okay, so awesome. Well, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you tuned in. And that was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for letting me throw some cards for you. I had a couple of other ideas for throws, but as long as you're in the show, if something crosses your mind, Julia, or anyone out there, put it in the chat and let's throw some cards. Let's have some fun. Thank you. All right, next up. Okay. So in the in the description, I mentioned that there was a John Whitberg video. Oh yeah, okay, that's a good idea too. Oh, collective August energy reading. That I don't know if you saw my last live post, Julia, but that's what that one was on. I did that was on July 31st for August. So I won't do a collective August energy reading again right now. But I do want to do one about one of the videos that I put in the description has to do with John Whitberg. It was recently posted, and he tells about stargates. And some of you may know who John Whitberg is. He's a secret space program experiencer. He's an author, and he presents some really remarkable information about breakaway civilizations, which every day I believe more and more are real things. And so anyway, part of what I do here at STARCARD Podcast is to share about the breakaway civilizations. So it's not quite such a shock when, the world changes, because as everyone can see around us, the world is changing in a hurry. All right. So what I want to do is I want to throw some cards about John Whitberg and the history of Earth and off-world life that he presents. For a young man, the guy's only in his 20s. I think he's barely in his mid-20s yet. And yet he has information you'd have to study years to learn the stuff that he presents. So there's another little item of credibility there when he talks about how his consciousness has occupied other lives and how he can remember it all. There's no way anyone can compile that kind of information just at the young age that he happens to be. So while I'm speaking about John Whitberg as a historian, I had in mind of comparing him to another historian. And so I'm going to set the deck down a second and grab a book to share. So this is a book by Livy called The War with Hannibal. And I don't blame you if you want me to go like this and show you the binding. I'm going to flip through the pages here and show you. Okay, so this is one of the funnest books I ever read. This book is about 2,000 years old. And I think I can read to you about the author named Livy. Good thing I have this magnifying glass. Okay, Titus Livius was born in 59 BCE at Patavium, which later became known as the Italian city of Padua, but later moved to Rome. He lived in an eventful age, but little is known about his life, which seems to have been occupied exclusively in literary work. When he was aged about 30, he began to write the history of Rome, consisting of 142 books, of which 35 survive. He continued working on it for over 40 years until his death in the year AD, or Common Era 17. So there's not much known about Livy, but that's enough there for us to make a comparison. And I'm sure you want me to tell you very quickly about this book. So there were 3 Punic Wars, Punic, P-U-N-I-C. And the Punic Wars were between Rome and the ancient civilization of Phoenicia, spelled P-H-O-E-N-I-C-I-A. And in the in one of those wars, one of those Punic Wars, you had the Phoenician or Carthaginian general. His name was Hannibal, and Hannibal was famous for bringing 80 elephants in a sneak attack on Italy. He had the elephants in the Iberian Peninsula in Spain, and he led them up through the Alps and down into Italy. And just the sight of the elephants was enough to intimidate a lot of the people in the Roman countryside and on the battlefield. Of course, not all 80 elephants made it, but there were enough to make an imposing presence. And then it goes on to tell more about what a genius this General Hannibal was, and the amazing strategies he had, and how the Roman generals could not match up with him. They were always outwitted. Anyway, here Hannibal, as a matter of fact, Hannibal and his invading army ransacked the Roman countryside for many years. I think it was like 17 years. And the only reason he left Italy was because the Roman general went ahead and invaded Carthage, which was a city in North Africa. And so therefore, Hannibal had to take his armies home to defend the homeland. And that's where the end of the war took place. Hannibal went on an escape, and they finally caught up with him, but it took a long time. Anyway, very exciting book. I used to teach about this to sixth graders back in the 1990s. So anyway, let's compare Livy and what he shares about the ancient Roman world and the Roman Punic Wars. Okay, let's check out how we can compare Livy with what Mr. Whitberg is doing, sharing about the breakaway civilizations, more things that remain very remote to the public and mainstream consciousness. So I've got some cards going here, and let's start off with Livy. Put Livy up top. I should have made little placards, huh? So Livy. And John Whitberg, huh? That's nice company, Mr. Whitberg. I'm sure Livy feels the same way. Oh, Jason's in the house. Hello, Jason. So exciting to have you guys here. All right, I'm having fun. Okay, so we're going to reveal some cards here about Livy. Let's see if they match up with what we understand about Livy, and that will help us understand more when we read the cards I have drawn for Mr. Whitberg. Let's see if this works. All right, the Knight of Pentacles. The Hermit. That kind of describes Livy's life, a literary life, 40 years of writing books. Wow. The tarot cards are going for it today. The Hanged Man, offering a new perspective. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. The beginnings of the Roman Empire. Okay, hang on. All right. Okay. And the Eight of Pentacles. So let's review with the magnifying glass what the tarot world has to say about Livy, the historian from ancient Rome. First of all, the Knight of Pentacles, hard work, productivity, routine, conservation, efficiency, and responsibility. So, wow, we could have just read this one card and have been done with Livy. Did he work hard? Yes. Was he productive? Yes. Did he have a routine? Obviously. Was he into conservation? You have to conserve your energy when you can't click delete, right? You have to start all over by taking the ink out in a new piece of paper and starting over again. So you had to be efficient. And what a responsibility to write down the history of an entire civilization. Nice work. Okay. So this might tell us more about Livy the Hermit. He was soul searching for sure. There was introspection and contemplation involved. He shared wisdom. He was a truth seeker, Yeah, okay. You get the idea. I think a different perspective, yes. The perspective of the historian. Ace of Pentacles, abundance, manifestation, opportunity. Well, 140 books, did they say? 40 books survive? That was a lot of hard work. All right. I get what they want to say about Livy. So let's check it out. John Whitberg. Six of Pentacles is the giving and receiving card. And I know that he's got like an information exchange going with his altars. The Queen of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords. Look at that guy. He's electrified. That's fast. That's speed. Yeah. The Five of Cups. Look at that. Someone's focused on what fell down, and you're not even looking at what's standing behind you. Yo, it's all right there, but you only see three of them, and all you see is the bad part. What I'm trying to say is, the breakaway civilizations are standing behind you. We're not looking at them, but we do see that Earth is a mess. Okay. And oh yeah, the Queen of Swords. Love it. So I'm going to read the cards in a moment, but what if the tarot world is really saying, because of the giving and receiving, the exchange of memories that Mr. Whitberg has with his altars, he's providing us with a wealth of knowledge that's going to be translated into other kinds of wealth, other kinds of value, including a change in a way of life. Our children today are not even going to recognize the world that we're living in right now. He's doing it with electrifying speed, thanks to the internet. Although not enough people see him. Obviously, there's that thing called a shadow ban. That's too bad. But he is telling us about the breakaway civilizations, stuff that we wouldn't even be paying attention to. And the Queen of Swords in my book always says, you were right. And so I'm going to say that the tarot world is confirming, John Whitberg is straight up. He's bringing the noise. He's right up there with Livy. Thank you very much. Okay, that was a good one. Also, let's see, I'm checking through the chat right here. Oh, Selena's in the audience too. Hello, Selena. See, I'm still throwing tarot cards. I learned a lot with Matthew Mornian. Thank you very much, Matthew Mornian. All right. Is there somebody else? Maybe if you would like a reading, go ahead and let me know now. If you have a reading on a particular subject you're interested in, we can give it a try. But at the same time, if no one has one, I'm going to go right to my final throw for the morning. It is morning here in California. I'm going to go, I'm going to ask the tarot card if they have any last messages for us, a little goodbye salute for us. So I'm going to start shuffling. I'll take a look around at the chat just in case someone wants to drop in a chat request. A tarot request. But otherwise, oh, no, you've invited me to read for you a couple of times, and that was good practice for me. So thank you very much. I remember the time I was throwing cards for you, and the cards were saying, yeah, you're so responsible. You're like the responsible kid that everyone wants to babysit their kids when they go out on the weekend. And you get a promotion, and then it ends up being a whole lot more work, but you did get the promotion. So anyway, happy to do a reading for you. All this stuff is free. It's my pleasure. All right. Hope things are going well for everybody. Please show us what Selena needs to see. Please tell us what Selena needs to hear. Thank you. Whoa. Please show us what Selena needs to see. Please tell us what Selena needs to hear. go. All right. Thank you, Selena. Let's see what's going on. All right. All right. We saw this person earlier in our video today. It's the Seven of Wands. That fellow's facing the challenge. Ground. I'm going to say he has skill too. He looks like if he's taking on 6 guys, he's got some kind of skill. Jason Statham skills, right? Right. Here we are. Pentacles, the teamwork card. You seem very much like a team player, Selena. Yay. Ka-ching. 10 of Pentacles. All right. Yay, Selena. And the 3 of Cups. And you can see that they're celebrating. Okay. Why don't we go through the cards and take a quick look? Okay, so the 7 of Wands says there's a challenge, there's competition, contribution when it happens. Next up, more good news, I hope. All right. Well, maybe there is more good news. Justice. Yay. A lot more good news. 6 of Swords. So, I'm not going to elaborate too much on justice, but I just want to say this isn't like an accident. When Justice card appears, something righteous is going on. And speaking of righteous, how about your spirit guides guiding you to calmer waters? It makes me wonder, about my own experience where I felt like I needed some help. And then eventually I got help from the spirit world and they're guiding me toward a new direction, down a new path. Let's read the last sentence. All right. The moon represents the subconscious. What is this? The 3rd time we saw this card today? It's the Hangman. And the 10 of Swords represents the end of a painful episode. So, gruesome picture, but let's just say, there's no way up, no place else to go but up, right? That episode is over. And yay, the Queen of Wands has a zest for life. So, the moon says subconscious, and I suggest, Selena, that you know a lot about your subconscious and manifesting and how to use the tools of your mind to manifest the life that you want to live. And when this card got turned over, I'm all exclamation point on that idea. Selena knows what's going on. So, the worst is behind you. The Queen of Wands says, zest for life. Every day is a new day, and any day could be our last. So go out there and enjoy yourself. Selena, thanks so much for letting me read for you. I had a lot of fun. It was a fun message to read. I think the spirit world likes you. So let's catch up with the chat here. All right. Oh, hey, thanks, Jason. I appreciate that comment. All right, great. Yeah, great. I enjoyed reading it. So thank you very much, Jason. You're so supportive. So anyway, unless I see, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Now I know what Rob goes through when he's doing his podcast. I'll double check and see if there's another suggestion for a tarot read. Otherwise, I'll go into the last one where I'll invite the tarot cards to give us a message on our way out the door. Yeah. Thanks so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to go on Rob's show again. I know I gotta connect with him. I was on holiday. We tried to talk about the weekend. I was down there in San Diego, but I didn't have my tarot cam. I didn't have my studio, as it were. I feel much better doing it right from home here. Oh my goodness, have I got 46 minutes? Okay, so I'm sure if there's anyone in the chat who wants to tell me I missed something, I'll keep an eye out. But now I'm going to ask the tarot world, do you have any final words for people tuning into this video at any time? Any good advice for people as they continue on with their day and into the weekend? Right around the corner. Please show us what we all need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. And yeah, we'll go farther. Please show us what you want to show us. Please tell us what you want to tell us. Ooh, that guy want to come out. Oh, that's the homecoming card. Yeah, I think that's a message that, yeah, okay, that's what we want. You know, we're on our way out the door. We're going home. We're going to have a celebration. We're heading towards something good. We're heading towards something good as a collective. That's a good positive message. Should I stop there? No. Let's throw some cards for real. All right. All right, so let's see if the spirit world has any positive messages they'd like to share with us as we close up today's live stream. First up, let's start with the death card. Now, remember, in the tarot world, that means transformation. It means, well, let's read what it means. Endings and beginnings. Oh, well, yeah, this is the end of the show and the beginning of a new day out here in California. Change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, and cycle of life, or end of a cycle. End of a cycle. All right. So, yeah, we're ending the show. All right. 9 of Cups. It's a wish come true card. It's a celebration card. Yes. You know, a lot of times when I'm throwing cards, like the opening statement is a restatement of what I said while I was shuffling the cards, what my intent was, what my request was. And then, how about the 10 of Cups? Well, it sounds like the tarot world is wishing us the very best day possible. You know, wherever you're at right now, let's change it to your wish comes true and celebrate. And the 10 of Cups, it's a beautiful day. Your dreams come true. You know, I hope they save some good cards for the rest of the ones we flipped here. That's a wonderful beginning. Thank you for that. All right, we ought to stop right here. But anyway, let's turn to the next card. Yeah, the Chariot. Let's keep it moving. One step in front of the other. The world is your oyster. The 7 of Cups. There's so many opportunities out there. Great. I mean, the world is changing fast. And if you look around, you can find all your opportunities because other people haven't seen them yet. Okay. All right. Yeah, the 9 of Wands. We've seen him today. The third base coach. You have the experience. You have the wisdom. Yeah, those scars you have, you know, from boo-boos of the past, now they look kind of cool. Oh, well, there may be pain. The 3 of Swords, huh? Okay. Yeah, there may be pain, but the Sun card says everything's going to be all right. And you're the boss. You're the emperor. You're in charge. Well, that is a great goodbye from the tarot world. Yes, thank you very much, everyone in the chat. Good to see you, Jason and Selena and Julia Anchorhaven. All right, good to see me. I'm Breakaway Ray. That was a lot of fun today. I hope everyone has a great day. I'm going to be shutting down the program now. Okay, see you next time. All right, bye.